again.
We're back.
This is Books and Booze. We're back for episode number 2.
Woo. Yeah. Chapters 12 to 18.
We are covering Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. We are recapping, we are talking about it, and we have gone through chapters 1 and 11. And one thing that I realized when we did that was way too many chapters.
Yeah, it was. You don't realize how much actually happens.
And now my urge is to get to the end of this book because so much good stuff happens and exciting stuff happens. But I realize that we have to walk through all of these relationships that Feyre is building and all of this new world that she's in. We have to go through that stuff and we have to go through the details because we're not going to understand the ending as well. We're not going to understand the little nuggets that have been planted along the way that are going to show up in book 2 and 3.
Yes, and it makes it way less exciting if you don't
really
get into that. It just makes it that much better.
Yes. So we're going to slow it down a little bit, meaning we're going to do 6 chapters today. Is that the math? That's
sure.
That's
I'm an artist. I'm not good at
18
math.
minus 12. Oh. You know what I wanted to bring up today too? We are recording right now in, I want to say it's the evening. Is it technically the evening?
Yeah, it's 4:30.
It's almost 5 o'clock. But I wanted to say that when we recorded episode 1, it was in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So behind the scenes tidbit, we had our episode 1 cocktail at 10 a.m.
Yeah, did some day drinking, just like on a vacay for the day.
I don't know if you agree. I feel like that's more... Is that more typical in older adult life when you earlier in the day? Because
I prefer it.
Early?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then it was like you left and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have dinner and I'm going to probably read a bit more and then just go right to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the way to go. And then you're up early the next day and it's fine.
I was reminded of that though because today my dad is giving me a ride home, but I felt very youthful making those plans. If you listeners recall, when you're a teenager and anywhere and everywhere you had to go, you had to ask your parents
or your older sister to come get you, or older cousin.
So sometimes it feels good in this old age where your parents have to drive you home and you feel young again.
I mean, I don't have kids, so I rely on them quite a bit. Still. Like, oh, you guys aren't doing anything, right? I don't want to pay for a cab.
Forever young.
That's right, I am.
So, I don't know if we need to preface anything. You know what? At the end of this episode, just a reminder, we do our casting call.
Yes.
We'll do our casting call whenever a new character comes up. There isn't always a new character that comes up. No. Or there's a smaller part that comes up.
And it's just like a fun one to cast.
Yeah. Then we have our MVP. So it's basically our winner of the episode. And the criteria is whatever we want it to be.
Yep.
And you can do the same.
Make your own.
Yeah. We're making it up as we go along.
Facts. Okay, so I have the cocktail today. I would not call it a winner, but if you can make it correctly, it might be. So it is a frozen Cosmo with 2 ounces of vodka, cranberry juice, triple sec, lime juice. It's the photo that I got it from. It's literally from Cocktails on Instagram. It's supposed to be frozen. So like a slushy destination type of drink. Mm-hmm. I've tried this multiple times. For whatever reason, it just looks like juice with some ice in it.
No offense, I think it turned out worse this time.
Yeah, it did.
And I can say that to you because we're related.
Yes.
I'm still going to drink it.
Well, yeah, you really don't have a choice because I don't want to waste it.
I told Jamie I wish I was being recorded when I tried to drink because I'm just like, oh, vodka.
Yeah. It's a bit strong. I made double of the recipe because I was like, oh, like 2 drinks, but I really did not need to do that. And I think I put more in than should have been in there. So you're welcome.
It's fine. You know what? We're having an evening.
That's true.
It's an evening.
Yeah.
And my dad's driving me home. So we're being safe here. For some reason, we don't know how to do a slush. Now, I'm assuming that's like a rite of passage for every adult in the world, which is a huge assumption that you should know how to make slush.
I would make it when I was younger.
you lost the skill.
Yes. We would make them at camp all the time when I was, I think, like, just out of high school. But we made it with those, like, the bullet.
Maybe it's the blender. Maybe you have to have a special blender.
Yeah.
If anyone knows, please let us know, because
Yes.
there's been several failed attempts.
Yeah, I am failing. So, any tips?
I know a part in book 2, when we get to it, we're probably going to need to do a slush again.
Oh.
And I don't want to, we're spoiler free, so I'm not going to tell you, but I think you know what I'm talking about. We're going to need to do a slush again. So what, we have to figure it out before that time.
To actually make it good, and it really would be good if it was slushy, though.
I think so. I you know what, I was thinking that too. Even if something has a little bit too much alcohol, like the ratio isn't right, if it's slush, it doesn't matter.
No, it just tastes good.
The slush makes up for it. Texture is everything.
It's true. Agreed.
But it's pink, so
it's cute looking.
Did we do pink before? Last week we had a light pink. Look, this is a dark pink.
Did we? Yeah.
Yeah, because I did my Paloma.
Oh, well, pink is one of my favorite colors.
We're still in the spring court, so it matches.
It's true. So we can just go with it. Our next one won't be pink, right?
No, it won't be. I know, I had to think about it. No, it will not be.
It's yours, so is it pink?
It's not.
It's a plus.
So let's get started.
Woo!
Chapter 12.
Dun, dun.
So we left off when Feyre saw the puka, thought it was her father coming to save her. It wasn't. She was tricked, and that was a bit sad.
It was.
She's realizing that no, her father probably wouldn't have come to see her anyway, but she had some hope in that moment seeing him. She was fooled. Anyway, in chapter 12, Feyre wakes up from a nightmare. She ends up walking the halls of the house. She's trying to make a map. So because she's not great at reading and writing, she's making X's, she's making arrows. That's how she makes herself feel safe. And
she's smart, though. I like to, like...
She's a survivalist.
Yeah. And I feel like that, I just like that about her personality. And I think that kind of, like, continues. You just see, like...
That's called trauma, Jamie.
Well, no, she's intelligent. Like, she's, like...
No, yes.
It is probably, yes, some trauma, but I just feel like she's always, like, I wouldn't have thought to do that. I would just be like, well, I'm stuck here. That's it.
You know, I'm going to eat my words a little bit, too, because also, like, at this point, she doesn't really feel safe.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to me that she wouldn't. So, you know what? Shut up, Christine.
That's right. You tell her.
So Tamlin ends up coming back after he was out killing the bogey, and he's hurt, and they have this I don't know what you call it, this cute little scene where she...
It's a cute little rom-com moment.
It is.
Yeah.
She brings him to the place in the house where she bandages him up, and he's impressed. He's impressed by her being able to do that, and he says, you know, you can't write yet you learn to hunt and survive. How? Look, he has low expectations of humans. He says, you know, she's not what he expected as a human, so...
Well, she is impressive.
I feel like it's supposed to be a compliment, but it feels like
a backhanded?
Yeah. A little bit. So it's like, I love this scene, but I'm also like,
I also feel like just showing his, I think, shock, just that humans are that capable.
You're seeing his ignorance, but you're also like,
kind of,
you're like connecting with his realization that, oh, I am ignorant.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
At the same time. Yeah. So they have that cute little moment. Then I believe it's the next morning. She overhears Tamlin and Lucien talking.
Yes.
The whole conversation, she has no idea what you're talking about. And as the reader, we don't know what they're talking about either. We don't know what they're referencing. So Lucien accuses Tamlin that he's not even trying and that he's, you know, getting soft and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Are they talking about Feyre? Are they talking about something? I mean, I assume they're talking about Feyre, but we're like...
But they've also, like, mentioned a woman, and there's also, like, different patrolling things happening.
Like, we know it's in that realm, but we don't know...
what exactly the conversation is about.
What do you mean he's being soft?
Yeah.
He said he can't stomach it after what his father and his brother did to the humans.
Right.
At this point in the book, I genuinely was very confused.
Yes. Just confusion from that conversation, but which Farah also, okay.
But it's one of those things that you just put in the back of your head. Okay, we'll probably get the answers later.
Yes.
They catch Feyre eavesdropping. She wants to go out with Lucian. He tells her to go with Tamlin instead. And she's like, oh, fine. So instead of going out on her usual trot on the horses with Lucian, she goes for a walk with Tamlin. And they have another bonding moment.
Compliments her ability.
Yeah. She can really bandage.
Yeah, look at you. It's attractive.
And then he says this cute little line, has anyone ever taken care of you? And she says, no.
Personally, I would just die, and I would love that.
No, Tamlin.
No. You can take care of me.
You go in for the kiss, and he's like, whoa.
That's not what I was getting at.
Whoa. He also reveals that he knows that Feyre took the knife from the dinner table, which is hilarious.
Just so you don't, like, I can smell the fear on you as you're doing it. Like, I can hear your heart beating. It would be so,
nice try.
Yeah. She keeps trying, though. Doesn't give up.
I like how not embarrassed she is, though.
Yes.
I felt embarrassment, but I got the sense that she was like, all right, nice try.
Yeah.
She asks him a little bit about the creatures like the bogey. Like, should I be scared? Like, is this dangerous? Should my family be scared? And, he says that the blight will pass, but, there's other danger sort of looming. So, again, she's just left in fear. But he tries to lift her spirits and brings her to his study, which is the end of chapter 12.
And another Beauty and the Beast moment. Study, library.
Chapter 13. This is your real Beauty and the Beast moment.
Yes. My favorite moment. My goal in life moment. To have the bookshelf. Not the bookshelf. I have a bookshelf. It's great.
To have the brooding
man take me into his...
Yeah, I was going to say emotionally distant man walk into a study full of books and wave his hand so all of the candles light.
Mm-hmm. And say, this can all be yours. And I'll be like, yes, emotionally distant man, you're my type.
I will never leave you.
Yes.
But she wants to go to the study and she wants to write a letter to her family. Obviously, she's not great at reading and writing, which I don't even know if we touched on at all, or maybe briefly. But we do get a little bit more information because she does say to herself that her mother neglected her education.
Yes.
All of their educations. But her sisters, because they're older, learn to read and write.
Didn't think it would be cool to teach their younger sister that, though.
Right. They didn't even teach her. But after her mom passed away, they all thought it was beneath them to go to the regular, village school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have to remember that this is set in a different world, a different era of sorts. So
yes.
If they had money, would get a tutor kind of thing. Anyway, the point is, she was not so good at it. She's trying to read and write, wants to write to her family to warn them. She writes a list of words that she doesn't know, and she does that, over a few days, and the study keeps going back. But she's too ashamed to ask Tamlin and Lucian for help, and she tosses the list in the garbage. She gets frustrated.
It's a frustrating time. I'd be frustrated. Just how they're even explaining it, her just doing each single word.
Right.
I was like, oh, that would be so frustrating, as an adult.
That's why we learn it before the age of 6, because our brain changes and it's harder to learn those things.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to learn a different language.
Teachers? I didn't make that up, I don't think.
Well, it makes sense. So yeah, then she also continues to wander the room and she sees a mural.
I love this part.
Illustrating the story of Perinthian.
Oh, we need to correct ourselves
right now. Oh my gosh, right.
I wanted to throw my computer across the room when I was doing my edits to the first episode, because me and Jamie repeatedly said Prethan. Jamie, and I don't know if this is your non-confrontational personality, but you said something of the effect of, how do we say that again? Perinthian, right? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, I just want to make sure that I'm saying it right. But up until that point, in the recording, I had said Perinthian about 6 times. So I'm like, is that passive aggressively towards me? As I'm listening back, I had thought I was saying it right the whole time. So I was like, no, Jamie, you're good. And then we started talking. You're like, okay, I got it. It's.
Did I stop saying it the right
Then
way?
you're like, it's Prythian. Okay, I got it. Which is also wrong. So look, I'm gonna stop us in our tracks right here.
Okay.
It's Prythian.
Prythian.
And if we go back to Prythin, then, well,
you know what we mean.
Tomato, right?
Okay. What did it say? Prythian? I can't. It's too.
Prythian.
Prythian.
Right?
I don't know.
It's Prythian. Not Prythin.
No. Prythian.
Prythian.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Prythian. Okay.
Carry on.
Anyways, so she discovers the mural illustrating Prythian.
You got it.
Woo! So it shows all the different realms, not the realms, but what do you call them? Courts? The courts.
The lands were separated into a number of different courts.
Yes, and I feel like you name them really well.
Oh, yeah. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, dawn, day, and night. Woo. We're going to play a little game. Which would you choose if a brooding, emotionally unavailable man brought you into his world and said, pick one? Not say pick one. Where would you want that man to be from? Which court, Jamie?
I would choose, my number one would be the Dawn Court.
For Jamie Dawn.
Yes, yep, middle name. Shout out to me. And it's also just a beautiful time of day. Obviously, I love light with photography and everything. And that's just,
okay,
it's just perfect.
To clarify, dawn is?
Morning.
Yeah.
Like when,
I knew that. That's just for the other people out there that might not have. I got you guys.
It's like right before the sun fully comes up, I believe. So, and then like dusk is the evening option. But it's just anyone out there wanting to take photos, those are dusk and dawn or closer to those times. Great time for photos.
That's a free tip.
Mm-hmm. My second would be autumn, though, just because.
Duh.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love autumn?
Yeah, but why?
I like hats. Like toques. But then I can also like, I'm not too hot, not too cold.
I can still show my figure with my hat.
Yeah.
And I don't have to brush my hair.
Exactly. That's it's
life.
Getting nicer outside and hat season's almost done. And I always get upset about that. Because I'm like, oh, I can't just put a hat on and still look cute. And
well, if you're going to dedicate your life to one season and one environment, you need to consider your favorite attire.
See, but also with the Dawn Court, not sure what the weather's like there. Right? Because that's not really... Maybe they get all the seasons.
I imagine it's a little bit chilly, a little bit breezy, but warm enough that you could still have a thin kimono.
Okay. I'd be into that. I run hot, so as long as there's a little bit of a breeze. Your choice.
Oh, okay. My initial thought was winter, which sounds nuts, but look, it's beautiful. How I imagine the winter court is like the most epic
Frozen.
North Pole, frozen, but like not like Santa Claus North Pole, like just the most beautiful parts of winter, like after snowfall. Hey, you know, you got outdoor fires, you got dog sledding, you got cool coats, things made of ice.
Like it would be cool, but
do you want to live there?
Yeah,
okay,
no, I would probably pick spring over that.
I know. Well, I wouldn't pick spring. I think we agree with the autumn part. Like autumn, the first time I described this to you, you made fun of me because it sounded, and I didn't realize this, what Sandra Bullock said in Miss Congeniality.
Oh, and I feel like I kind of just did the exact same thing.
Not too hot, not too cold. You can wear a light sweater.
Yes.
And I had no idea that scene existed.
Well, it's not Sandra Bullock. It's...
Oh, the other, her best friend.
Yes.
Okay. But she's right. She's right. It's perfect weather. It's my favorite season. In the autumn court, we learn that there's, you know, a lot of redheads.
We both love redheads, FYI.
We have our Norwegian background. The fair-haired, the...
Well, I didn't get the...
You didn't.
No.
I'm so sorry.
I did not get the fair-haired, blue-eyed gene of that.
The beautiful colors in autumn. I'll take it. And then my other choice is night.
I can see that for you. You like to have blinds closed.
What? See, when I think of night, I think of like the night sky and the stars.
Yes.
And like the night can be really beautiful.
I love being out at camp and like when you're out at the lake, like the sky is so much clearer.
Yeah.
And just looking at the sky. But is it always
night? Because then I'm thinking like vitamin D deficiency.
Ooh, like if you're in Alaska.
We can get shots.
Yeah.
Vitamin D shots.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyways.
Anyway, Tamlin comes back, offers to help her to read and write, and she, this is where she kind of has she's triggered.
Yes, I like felt this moment
yeah.
so hard and just felt so bad for her. But yeah, so she says in the book, not out loud, but I could almost feel the wound deep in my chest as it ripped open and all those silent words came pouring out. Illiterate, ignorant, unremarkable, proud, cold, all spoken with Nesta's mouth, all echoing in my head with her sneering voice. It's just, it's a lot.
That's a deep wound. That is.
Yeah. To just have that, like, you're saying that to yourself, like...
That's when you know it's a deep wound, when someone's like, hey, I can help you with that, and you're like, I'm a loser. You're like, whoa. Where did that come from?
Yes. Exactly.
Okay, that runs deeper, I think. That runs a little bit deeper, something to look at.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, something she'll need to deal with at some point, but it was just so sad. I was like, don't be so mean to yourself.
But this is why I like Baby's journey, because I think she really evolves in these chapters and the ones to come.
Yes.
She finds that her word list is gone, and she doesn't know where it went. She tries not to think about it. She also thinks about how little information they're giving her. So I think I mentioned this a bunch, and I was annoyed with Tamlin in the first 11 chapters.
Yeah.
They're not giving her much information, and this is her kind of thinking in her head, like, hey, why do they keep, like, skirting around these things? What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
So she takes it into her own hands. She goes to see Lucian in his room and is like, hey, I'm going to go trap the cereal and you're going to tell me how to do it. And he does. But you know what? The nice thing he does is he says, if you scream, I might come help you.
So kind of you.
Yeah. Look, and the reason that he's helping her is very obvious. He's doing it because he doesn't really want her there. He's kind of contemptuous towards her, so he's like, yeah, I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
You can go risk your life.
And then if I say I'll be paying attention, I don't feel so bad about it.
Right.
Just helping a friend out.
He does say something cute here, though. He says that he's beginning to like her even if she's a human.
I feel like that is cute coming, like, from a fae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he makes it a little snarky, as Lucian is, but
which is why we love him.
Even though he doesn't care if she lives or dies here, there's a part of him going like, you know what, she's not that bad, maybe I do care, I'm not sure what's happening internally.
Some concern.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 14. This is the chapter where she tries to trap the cereal. I don't know how much detail I want to go into here. She traps. She knows how to do a snare because she has her experience teaching herself how to hunt. Have you ever made a snare?
Oh, do you know me?
I have. That was just me asking you so that you would ask me.
Oh.
I have done it.
Have you ever?
I have.
Oh.
I have. I did it once.
You're so outdoorsy.
I did it one time.
I think I remember. Weren't you hunting rabbits?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I do recall this. Yeah, that's.
So I did it that one time, and I never did it again. I'm not.
Not a hunter.
No, but it was neat to see how it's
done.
How it's done. Yeah.
Okay, so she
traps
him.
She traps him. That's what we need to know.
Yes.
What does this cereal look like? Tall, thin, veiled figure in dark robes, thin creature, bony face, white eyes, yellow fingernails.
So cute.
It's Voldemortish.
Yes, that's immediately what comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Is Voldemort's brother. I think it's a male.
Or I don't know.
I think at one point she says he.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Or I thought of like an old like black and white movie vampire.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's kind of cute though. He's like a little bit nice to her.
Yeah.
The reason she trapped the cereal is to get information. That's basically what he does. And that's what he does. He tells her that Tamlin is the High Lord of the Spring Court, which we didn't know yet. No, just knew that he was High Fae. Yes. Yeah. So, which is a big thing because the High Lord of each court is someone who is extremely powerful. So it's not just that he's a High Fae and powerful, he is a High Lord, which is like a shock to her. It's like the president. It's like the Prime Minister. No?
the
I mean,
the ruler of
basically,
each like country. But they have powers.
he's the leader of that whole place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal.
Very big deal. Another thing he did not tell her, but
Yeah.
yeah. So she seeks more detail, and the serial tells Farah about the King of Hybern.
Yes. So that whole realm, like I called it a continent, whatever it is, it's a giant island, and all of the chords are separated on that island, including the human realms. There is a separate island to the left that is Hybern,
Yes.
and that like humans don't live there. The humans were eradicated during the war. He is like an anti-human guy. He doesn't like the treaty. He doesn't like that they made a deal. He wants humans to be slaves again.
Super nice guy. What I did skip over, because I got too excited, was that when the serial was talking about Tamlin, said to her, stay with the High Lord. He will keep you safe.
Right.
So, and she also learns that there's really no going back on the deal, the life for the life.
Which she kind of wanted to know, like, what could I do? So she gets confirmed here. There's nothing to do. Just if you want to keep your family safe, just stay with him. Don't ask too many questions. Just you're in the right place. So that's what she learns, which was important for her to learn. Also, another tidbit that he says regarding the King of Hybern, sort of, was that there was one of his commanders that betrayed him and went rogue. And they're known as the Deceiver. And that was about 50 years ago that happened. But then the serial gets cut off. We don't get any more information because they're no longer alone. The Nega. 4 Nega approach. And that's the end of that chapter.
Yes. And then we get to chapter 15.
Chapter 15 is Feyre fighting off the Nega.
Yes, and my favorite part about this is that instead of continuing to run, the serial kind of looks at her to be like, I'm going to die if you don't let me loose. And she chooses to save the serial.
She takes those few seconds that she could have been running and stops to save him.
Yeah. And so I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Just another reason why I'm like, yes, Farah.
Yes.
Love you.
So the Nega are made of shadow, hate, and rot, which is, it's quite the description. Dark scales, kind of snake-like, but also a little bit human-looking, powerful arms, talons, sharp teeth, forked tongue. It's like a snake man with black scales.
Yeah, I pictured, what did I say? Oh, like the Slender Man.
Which I guess that's sort of in the... You can imagine whatever you want.
Yeah, I feel like things just happen and I'm like, this is what pops into my head. But like, just like these 4 like slender men. Nobody can see me, but I'm making a motion. It's very...
If only there was video.
Yeah. Slender men walk. But that's what I saw.
Anyway, she fights them off and it's pretty close to her dying. But Tamlin comes. Oh wait, you know what I want to say? She does scream for Lucian. She hesitates to scream for him because she doesn't know if it's worth it, but at one point she does it anyway.
Mm-hmm. And she also kills one of them.
Yeah, no, she does a good job. No, but Tamlin comes in and finishes off the rest. Rescues her. Lucian never comes though.
Lucian.
She doesn't tell him that what she was doing. She doesn't say that she met with the serial. She's like, oh, I was out for a walk.
Just strolling the grounds.
So when we get to chapter 16, Alice is trying to comfort her. And I noted that Alice gave her a cup of molten chocolate.
Oh.
I'm not like a big sweets fan, but I just love in books when you get like a really descriptive like food or drink and you're like,
Yeah. That's so true. And you're like, I could go for that.
Yeah, I could go for a molten chocolate. That sounds so unappealing right now, but I jotted it down because I don't know what I was thinking. But Feyre looks to Alice to be like, should I be scared? Like, is there going to be a war that's going to break out? Like, what is happening with all these creatures showing up? Alice tells her, look, girl, just stop asking questions. Let Tamlin deal with it. He's a powerful man.
He's the most powerful.
He is the High Lord of the Spring Court. Like, just let him deal with it. And Feyre's like, I need to protect my family. And Alice is like, I have a family too.
Yeah, Farah, like, you really... Obviously, other people have families. But Alice does tell her about her family. Her sister and her sister's mate were murdered almost 50 years ago and left 2 children behind, and she raised them. So her sister's 2 boys, but that they live far away.
Yeah. She's like, I have people I care about too, Farah. Like, this isn't us, working against you, but I imagine that it feels that way because Farah's like, you guys are not telling me much.
Yes, and I'm also the only human.
Yeah. Exactly. She's sort of isolated on her own, being the only human. Alice just tells her, like, hey, like, you can ask me about things instead of going to the cereal, but let's be honest. Alice is not going to tell her the things that the cereal told her.
No.
No,
I feel like that was a journey she needed to go on.
So we get to learn a little bit more when she goes to dinner with Lucian and Tamlin. Lucian's like, hey, you look good. And she's like, wait, I thought fairies couldn't lie. Which is a very sassy response. And then he's like, where did you learn that? So here is where we see her beliefs about the fairies and these stories that she's heard as a human kind of unravel. No, they can lie, and that iron that all of the humans are wearing around their wrists or putting elsewhere, that doesn't do anything either.
I feel like it's a fun little moment, though.
Yeah.
To just, I mean, not for her, but imagine someone was just like, oh, I thought you couldn't lie.
Your whole life.
Yeah.
Lucian excuses himself so that Farah has to have the rest of the meal alone with Tamlin.
So they talk, and Tamlin asks her again why she was in the woods. And Farah admits she was searching for answers from the cereal.
This is a hilarious moment where she's like, he's like, you actually snared the cereal, a human girl. And she said, is it supposed to be hard?
It's like Legally Blonde.
Yeah, it totally.
Yeah.
Who did it first? Obviously Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
That's an old movie.
What? Like it's supposed to be hard?
He then confronts her. I have your list of words that you threw in the garbage can. And I think he didn't realize how... But they did have that moment in the study, so I'm like, how...
Like you already see she's kind of sensitive about it.
Why are you more sensitive bringing up this list of words? It kind of seemed like he was trying to be cute about it.
Like he actually really wants to help her.
He does.
But doesn't understand.
Like just being like, hey, I got your words. And
yeah, doesn't need help.
Immediately gets up. She's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I don't need help. I don't need your pity.
Yeah. I don't need your help. I don't need your pity.
Good day.
And then she throws her napkin. Tamlin stops her. He's like, okay, can we just be friends? Like, that's a thing. Obviously, she's a human, so she hasn't lived very long. But he's like, the fairies and the humans were friends. You know, it might have been 500 years ago, but at some point, they were friends.
Yeah, they lived together, not together, who knows, but we're still...
He said, like, during the war, like...
That there was some fae that fought on the human side. How else would they have survived the war?
That's how some humans survived the war, was because they had help. Otherwise, they just would have been slaughtered, right? That's how the treaty was able to be made, because there was fairies on their side.
And then he does tell her that he is against slavery.
Because that's a history, right? That humans were slaves. Yeah. And that was in, like, Tamlin's lifetime. His... Beginning of his lifetime, I believe. Because he said he was young. Yeah. We learned that her family was glamored. So this is actually a huge moment. Because up until this point, she's going on and on about how her family... She's worried about them, right? Like, that's her whole goal in life, is to make sure that they're safe and that they're okay. And then we learn that Tamlin has glamored them, which essentially means he put a spell on them to make them believe that Feyre went to go take care of a sick aunt. And also that they need to run at the sign of anything strange or... Yeah. This moment made me mad. Because he could have told her this a while ago. Why in the world... Just like he didn't say his name. It's like, this is such an unnecessary lie. Yes. That you could have easily just said, like, hey, don't worry about it. They're taking care. There's absolutely no reason why this was helpful to him. Like, he's really just keeping everything in, like, close to the chest. If I'm missing something, someone's got to tell me. Like, is there a tidbit that I'm missing that would make him benefit from
what? But this is like the kind of men some people are attracted to, where you have to like really pry things out. Yeah. Makes it interesting. Like, that's so fun. I'll get it out of you. This is so fun and healthy. I'm having a good time. Yeah. Still single.
Oh.
You're welcome for that tidbit.
But
Oh.
my, even, like, my, I don't know what you call it, my anger at this, Feyre likes it. Like, she feels good about it. This is when she asks him for painting supplies.
Yes.
So she's like, oh, okay, I feel better about you now. I'm going to ask you for painting stuff. And she says something about her feelings are similar to what she had for Isaac Hale, which is the boy that she was sleeping with in the village. So she's having
some butterflies, a little crush, maybe.
She's getting the tingles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the kids call it, right? The tingles.
Yes, sure
I haven't dated in a while. I don't know.
I don't know what the like.
Do you know what? Feel free to use that. The tingles.
Yeah.
If use it on the socials. They call them that too, right? The socials.
Sure. So hip.
I'm a cool mom. Chapter 17. Oh, I said that too excitedly.
You
I'm
did.
so sorry. There's something bad coming.
It was not a happy chapter.
There's bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Feyre has this big nightmare where she dreams about the cereal, she dreams about the nega, she dreams about this faceless woman shredding her throat. What?
Yeah.
Scary stuff. But she wakes up to shouting and she runs downstairs and she sees Tamlin carrying a blue fairy and it's bleeding and it's severely injured. I
just really don't like it. It's just,
yeah,
I really just don't like it. It was just so sad. I hated it. Lucian comes briefly, and I feel like I would be Lucian.
You are Lucian in this situation. He pukes in the corner and he takes off.
Yes, I would. Can't do it. This is awful.
But they found the fairy dumped over the border. We learned that it's a summer court fairy. It has wings. It's blue. It's so it's not, a fairy that's in like a human-like form like the High Fae. Yeah, that fairy keeps crying out, "She took my wings," which is such a sad part.
Yeah. And then so Feyre comes over and holds the fairy down as Tamlin tends to the wounds on his back, realizes that like the bleeding's not going to stop.
His magic isn't strong enough though. Yeah. So they know that the fairy's going to die and Feyre just wants to comfort it. So
she holds his hand and like just tells the fairy that you'll get your wings back, like to kind of let him go more in a positive, like peaceful way. I think she's trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Even though she says like, I don't know if the fairy's going to get his wings back. I hope that that it does, and it's
whatever
as it
sort
passes on. Right. Mm-hmm. Tamlin's confused, like why, you have this contempt against fairies. Obviously, why would you respond in that way? And she basically says that she would want someone to do that for her.
She has a heart. So
I would call that humanizing, even though, we're talking about fairies. But it's, she's not just thinking of that fairy as a thing or an it. It's a person. It's
someone with a soul.
Feelings and background and whatever. And it doesn't matter the other stuff. This person deserves to die in dignity.
Yeah. Well, like, I think also even like talking to Alice, like, this fairy probably has a family. Yeah,
she's slowly starting to do the same. You're seeing it like mirrored, right?
Yeah.
Tamlin's starting to humanize humans, and she's starting to humanize fairies. Mm-hmm. And we get this even more because at the end of this chapter, she apologizes to Tamlin for the first time genuinely about killing Andras.
Oh yes.
And she really starts to feel that guilt.
Yeah, realizing that it wasn't just
Andras was a person.
Mm-hmm.
That was someone's friend.
R.I.P. Blue Fairy and Andras. Chapter 18. This is a better chapter than the last one.
I'm always criticizing the spring, not always, but I have been critical of the spring court because I always just think of itching and allergies and bees and pollen and sweating, but hot and dry.
On that note, stay tuned for our next drink because it will be inspired by that.
But this chapter redeems all of those things and makes me want to be there with them because they are exploring the spring court lands.
They're a nice little throuple. Just
and this is also a turning point because as we've been laughing about in all these chapters, when Tamlin's like, hey, you want to hang out? And she's like, no. She finally says, yeah, where to? And he responds with like the biggest smile.
Yeah. She wants to hang out with me.
Tamlin, play it cool, bud.
Yeah. Maybe you should keep opening up more. So they all go out for a ride, and Tamlin is kind of showing Farah the beautiful lands, and they end up at this grassy knoll overlooking a glade of oaks so wide they could have been pillars and spires of an ancient castle. It's magical.
Dandelion fluffs in the air.
I love the dandelion fluffs.
Feathery grass. She says it's the most beautiful place I've ever been to.
Sounds like it.
It sounds so nice.
I know. Just get a little jealous.
And Tamlin's like, do you like it? And she's like, yeah. But he's like, so you like it? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, you got nothing else to say? Like, what?
Does he actually say that?
He says something like that. Like, that's it. Like, he's surprised that she's just like, yeah.
It's pretty. So then she replies to him. Okay.
You're too excited.
I do. I just really hyping it up.
Wait, guys, just wait.
She says.
Wait. Listen to this. Listen.
He also said you like to be brushed, and if I'm a clever girl, I might train you with treats. Farah made a joke, guys.
Tamlin giggles, Lucian howls. And they're just so shocked, right? Because Farah at this point has just been combative and saucy and
stealing knives.
Yeah. So she's starting to loosen up.
It's just a great moment.
Tamlin's like, let me show you something, and leads her away. Lucian just chills. He knows his place. He's like, I'm not getting in between this. So Tamlin brings her to a glen, and it's this, I don't know, it's a sparkling pool, and he says that he used to visit it when he was a child, and
it's like his favorite place to go to. It's a pool or lake, I don't know, of starlight.
Are we dumb and we don't know what a glen is? Is that what's happening right now? Like, is that common term?
See, this is what happens when I just picture things in my head, and I'm like, yeah, it's like a lake.
I didn't picture a lake.
No?
I pictured like a calm river.
Oh, that might make more sense. Yeah, I think you're kind of right.
What does it say?
It says a glen is a valley, typically one that is long, deep, and often glacially U-shaped, or one with watercourse running through it. Okay.
So neither of us were right, but now we know.
Okay, but it just says a glen is a narrow valley. I feel like they might call it like a pool.
That's what I kind of got from that description.
Right?
Yeah. Anyway, it's starlight.
Yes.
And it's not really like water, Farah, and she's not even in yet. Let's explain the conversation that happens before they get in there, because we get some tidbits on my man Lucian's. He is the youngest child, the youngest son, because he is one of 7 brothers. He is the youngest son of the Autumn Court. His father is the High Lord of the Autumn Court.
This is really just a lot.
We learn that the Autumn Court is cutthroat, but that's kind of the theme for all of the courts. Like, we get the sense of. So similar to all the other courts. Actually, I shouldn't even say this. I don't know if this is like all the other courts, but we learn that it's not the oldest son. It's whoever, is deemed the right fit to take over, right? So like the brothers are competing, basically, like who's the strongest, who's the most powerful. Yeah.
So if I get one of you out, it's better chances for me.
Now, Lucian didn't care about this. He never wanted to rule. He didn't want to be a part of it, right? But his brothers were something else. His father was even more something else, because he killed the woman he loved right in front of him, because
she was like lower. She wasn't high fae, or she was.
Yeah, I think so. Or like he wasn't someone he deemed fit
worthy
for one of his sons, so killed her. Lucian, got out of there, obviously. He didn't want to be a part of it, didn't want to be a part of the Spring Court anymore, so he went to his friend Tamlin, who is also a High Lord's son, so they had known each other over the years. Tamlin took him into the Spring Court, made him his emissary.
BFFs forever.
Yeah. But 3 of his brothers still, for whatever reason, came after him. Like, they didn't believe, they thought it as like an opportunity to get run in front of the brothers, even though he's like, I don't want it, you guys.
Yeah, like, please, like, I really do not care.
Lucian kills a brother, Tamlin kills a brother, and then one of his other brothers
gets away.
escapes. Lucian is also a sassy little thing. We love him for it, but to get this background feels like we're seeing the depth of his character more.
Yeah.
It makes me love him more.
And I think also why he's so loyal to
Tamlin. Protective.
Yeah.
So they finally go swim, this is an exciting part because Feyre strips down. We have to think again, this is a different time. People are not walking around in bathing suits, so this is a big deal for her to do that, but she feels good enough that, you know,
she's like, I'm
she
just
gets
going to
in
do
her
it.
underwear and she goes in and swims with him in the starlight.
Live your life, Feyre.
Tamlin, we get so much background in this chapter. So Feyre tells him about how her family lost their fortune.
Yes. Her dad had found an opportunity to pay off the debts that he had, and that it was 8 years ago that he sank his whole wealth into 3 ships. All the ships had sank, so that the creditors came, and when he wasn't able to pay the creditors, they broke his knee while Farah watched and screamed at them to stop. Well, she was the only one that stayed to scream at them to stop.
So there's bonding moments here where they learn more about each other. Then on the way back, sorry, that's the wrong word. On the way back, Farah and Lucian talk about the cereal because, as we know, Lucian didn't show up.
Yeah.
But he did say, he didn't guarantee it.
No, he said, we'll be in the area.
Yeah.
If I happen to hear a scream.
But he says here, like, I did hesitate. But he does give her kudos. Like, I'm surprised you did it.
Yeah, that you actually did it.
Yeah. He gives her a gift here, which shows more of his, like, hey, you're not so bad, kid. Gives her a jeweled knife.
Yeah. It's not a bad gift.
Right?
And then says, don't bury it in my back, please.
Yeah. I love their relationship.
I know, I love their relationship so much.
And that brings us to the end of chapter 18.
Yay!
Okay, let's get into it. It's the casting call. I'm so
sorry.
Casting
call.
Okay, we're still going to work on that. I'm so sorry, but we only have one for today. This is, in the first episode is the beginning of the book, so we had
way
like
more.
7 people.
Yeah.
Right? We only got one today, and it is
the cereal.
I don't know.
Right?
I feel, are we supposed to hate him?
Well, it's a good question.
Am I reading this wrong?
Yeah. I think so, or like be scared, but I was like, the cereal like helped her out, and then I just liked that moment when she like, he's like, you have to like help me and release me, and then she did it. I don't hate him.
I kind of trusted him, but that might say something about me.
Yeah, same.
I'm the problem, it's me.
Hi.
So the cereal, what do you think?
I saw this on Book Talk, and Tilda Swinton, I was like, yeah, that makes,
like Bill Pullman, Tilda Swinton is a treasure.
Yes.
She
can do anything and literally play anything.
Yeah, she could do anything.
Yeah.
She is a beautiful woman in one movie, and she is
terrifying in the next.
Right?
Yeah.
Chronicles of Narnia?
Yes. She'd be a good...
She's beautiful and frightening in that movie.
Exactly. And then what else? She's in that one. She's Amy Schumer's boss in one movie. And she has like long blonde hair in it. I'm like, oh. Then I see her in another movie and she's terrifying. So I feel like she could really do both like terrifying cereal, but also like, I kind of
but then
like you and want to save you.
Then there's also the TikTok of Bill Hader. Like Bill Hader could do it.
Could not take it seriously though.
No. I don't know. I don't think there's anyone that tops Tilda Swinton.
No, she's perfect.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, oh, you know who I'm thinking of?
No, I don't.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh my god.
Right?
No.
Why not?
I can't. I'm too stuck on Tilda.
I'm just trying to give an alternative.
Yeah. I just like his voice.
Yeah.
Like, hey, stay with the High
Well,
Lord. Like, I don't know.
Steve Buscemi.
That was a horrible.
Steve Buscemi does comedy good, and he does drama good. But I feel like this one would be so weird, where it's like this would be so different for him. But I think he could pull it off, and
He is a great actor, so
he's gonna get the Emmy.
Oscar. You want to get an Oscar?
Well, then we got to get into the conversation of book to series or book to movie, and I'm always gonna go book to series.
That's true.
MVP.
Oh, MVP. My MVP is Farah because she made a joke and she's coming out of her shell. Was my MVP Farah the last time?
No, it was the mercenary.
Oh, right.
But Farah was one of my choices for MVP too, but I was thinking more the blue fairy scene.
Also that.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like there's like a lot of moments in the last couple chapters where like you're just seeing what good character she has, even like the moment with the cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just has lots of good moments.
You're seeing that her behavior has been protective, and now you're seeing that that wasn't her.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't representative of her. That was her survival. And now you're seeing her as more, she's letting her guard down. She's able to be herself. And you're seeing that she has a really good heart.
Yes, exactly. And that she can be funny.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
I picked Hamlin, and it's basically for the same reasons. You're seeing him, he is emotionally stunted. But you're seeing him, like, take risks and take those moments where he could be, like, embarrassed or, like, you know, whatever else. And he's sharing with her. He's being kind to her. He's doing the work to make a connection. Good job, Tamlin. You're doing it.
He's trying.
Keep on keeping on.
She still wins for me, but he is trying.
No, I understand.
Maybe next episode, Tam.
But anyway, that said, I'm excited for this build-up. We're continuing to build and understand these people, and we're going to continue on doing that.
And it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
And can't wait.
Okay. Toodaloo.
Okay, bye.